Good morning, boys and girls. I hope that you're having a great morning. It is beautiful outside. I've already been outside. I've watered my flowers, and it is perfect. Just a beautiful, beautiful morning. So let's go ahead and get started. We've got a few things to learn about today and do. So let's start off with what we always do. We'll stand for our pledge to the American flag. Your right hand goes over your heart, and we'll say our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That is great. That is great. Today is Wednesday, April 22nd or 22. 22. All right, very good. Well, yesterday we read that silly poem about a kitten chasing after some different kinds of insects, a grasshopper, and let's see what else, a caterpillar, and then finally a bee got him. Well, I was reading the poem that was on the very next page, and I liked it. I thought it was fun. Have you ever talked about somebody, they say, oh, they move as slow as a snail, right? Snails are very, very slow. So we're going to find out. This poem tells us why snails are so slow. It says, maybe it's so that snails are so slow. They trudge along and tarry. But isn't it true you'd be slow too if you had a house to carry? All right, so I'm going to show you the picture. There's some boys and girls carrying a house, and there's some snails down there. Why do you think that snails are slow? That's right, they have to carry their house on them. Maybe that's why they move slow. And what is their house? Where do the snails live? That's right, inside their shell. So maybe that's why they move slow, because they have to carry their house. Well, our friend Katrina, yesterday we found out that she had some bad news. That's right. She moved to a new village where they didn't have Sunday school. There wasn't a missionary to tell them Bible stories and to tell them stories about Jesus. She asked the boys and girls in her new village, and they said, we don't even know what you're talking about, Katerina. And so she said, oh, it's a wonderful place, Sunday school, where we learn about Jesus, and there are pictures. And they said, well, since you know the stories, why don't you tell us? And so that's what she did. Katerina, she became the missionary, didn't she? She got all the children, and they all sat under the tree, just like she did at her village. Now, if you look at her picture, what is it? There's nothing on that paper. She didn't have the same pictures that the missionary did. But you know what? That didn't stop her. She got all the boys and girls together. And so she said, I want you to pretend or think about it being late at night. So you would think, oh, the picture must be dark. And think about stars in the sky. Are you able to make a picture in your mind, even though there's not a picture on the paper? And she said, I want you to think about there being hills and sheep on the hills. And then all of a sudden, see how her arms are outstretched, all of a sudden the sky lights up and an angel comes, and the shepherds are so very frightened. Do you know what Bible story she's telling the boys and girls? That's right, when the angels came and told the shepherds that Jesus was born in Bethlehem. And the boys and girls, even though Katerina didn't have a real picture, it was okay because they were able to think about and make a picture in their mind. They used their imagination. And they loved Katerina telling the stories. And remember, how many stories did she learn? That's right, she had learned 9. Remember, she was allowed to go. Her daddy said, you can listen to as many stories as you have on both hands. And she had heard 5 for this hand, and she had heard only 4 for this hand, because this pinky was the last one. It didn't have a story to go with it. And so each week she told all the boys and girls those 9 stories. She was being the missionary. But you know what? Our story's not over yet. Tomorrow we're going to take a look at Katrina's the 9 stories that she told the boys and girls. And I bet you're going to know some of them from the Bible stories we've learned and talked about at school. And then we'll see, does she ever get a story, for a last story for that pinky? We'll find out about that on Friday. So tomorrow we're going to learn the 9 stories, or go over them, because I think you know most of them. And then we'll see on Friday if she ever learns a story for that last finger. So you'll have to come back and listen. Stay tuned, as they say. Well, boys and girls, I've moved my seat over a little bit so that you could see our chart behind me. And I see a lot of check marks. You know, these, if we were at school, these would be some of the same things that we would be learning. Same letter sounds, same blends. We're just having to do it in a different way, aren't we? Here at school, or here in our pretend school, in our make-believe school in Miss McGuire's garage. So let's look and see. There's been a lot of things that we've checked off. So I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to bring this, take our chart down and bring it up to you so that you can see how many things we have done. And we are going to finish just about all of them in just a little bit. The first one, CK. Gosh, we learned that a long time ago, didn't we? And then this one, we're going to skip a couple, but then this one, Y. Remember when we started in the garage, when we learned that sometimes the letter Y makes the long I sound, and it works, it says its name like a vowel. And then we had AY, like in pray and stay. So that Y worked like a vowel, and it said it was quiet, and the letter A made its long vowel sound, A. And then we started going and we started learning about the different consonant blends, ST, st, and PL, pl. And then we had FR, fr. So we've learned just about all of these. And then, oh, look at all these that we have learned. TR, like in train. And SH, sh, like in ship. And TH, th, thick. All right. Let's see. This one, BL, blah, blah, like in block. Yesterday we did CL, cl. Today is FL, fl. And then tomorrow is GL. And we will have learned just about everything on this chart. You know, and that's just what we would be doing at school, except you would be getting to tell me the answers instead of me putting them up on the board. You would be raising your hand and say, Miss McGuire, I know a word, and I would write it on our dry erase board instead of on my blackboard. So I'm very proud of you, but you know what? This isn't all of them. We're going to keep on learning. But I wanted you to see today how much you've learned, what all you have done, and I'm so proud of you. So with that being said, FL is our consonant blend today. So let's take a look at our words. and we'll see if we can't read them together. So I'm going to bring this a little bit closer so that you're able to read a little bit better. And I might be in the picture, I might not, but let's take a look. Well, maybe if I stand on this side, I think maybe that would work. All right, so let's take a look at our first word, F-L, and then I see an A, a K, and then I see what? Sh, silent E, or that what? Bossy E. And so that means A is going to say its long sound, A. So F-L, fl, A, k, flake, flake. Do you eat cornflakes for breakfast? Or what other kind of flakes are there? How about snowflakes? Right, flake. All right. This next word, there's one vowel, so it's going to say its short sound, eh, and then there's sh, and we've already learned that sh says shh. So we have fl, eh, sh. Put those together, flesh, flesh. That's your skin. Another word for skin would be your flesh. Your flesh, that's your skin. All right, one vowel, O, so it's going to say its short sound, ah, fl, ah, and then two S's, but two S's make one sound, s, floss, floss. When you go to see the dentist and the hygienist cleans your teeth, does she remind you to floss, to get that real thin string and put it between your teeth to clean in between? That's floss, floss. All right, this is something we do every day, isn't it, when we have school? We say the pledge to the what? Flag, flag, flag. All right, and here's our American flag. I wish we had our Christian flag too. We just have this one, so we just do the best that we can, don't we? We've had to do a lot of that these past few weeks. All right, let's try the next word. Oh, this is one of those superheroes that you guys like to talk about. There's SH again at the end and FL at the beginning, and our short A sound, ah, flash. Flash, flash. Is that something very slow or is that something very fast? A flash. That's right. Very, very quick. Like a flash of lightning. Very quick. Flash, flash. Oh, this is something I already did this morning. Flower. Remember we said sometimes OW when it's together it says ow? Flower. Yep, I've already been outside to water my flowers. Flowers. All right. Now, U is going to say flutter. Remember, there's two T's, but it makes one sound. Flutter. Flutter. That's what birds, their wings do when they fly. They flutter. Or what else? A butterfly, their wings will flutter as they go up and down, and as they fly, flutter, flutter. Sometimes maybe you do get a little flutter feeling in your tummy. Maybe if you're nervous about something, a flutter. And the last one, we've kind of talked about this when we talked about our chart, and we said that Y is sometimes makes the long I sound, and so sometimes it's a vowel, because Miss McGuire always said every word has at least one vowel in it, and sometimes that Y is the vowel. It makes the I sound. So this is fl, and then a long I sound. Y says I, fly, fly. That butterfly makes its wings flutter, and that helps it to fly. So can we try and do all of our words together? Flake, flesh, floss, flag, flag, something really fast, flash, flower, flutter, and fly. Excellent, very good. And you know what? I bet today, as you and your family are around, I bet you can think of some other FL words. All right, just like there's so many. All right. Yesterday we started. The other day we started reading about our little friend Matt. And what kind of an animal is he? That's right, he's a rat, and he's a special kind of rat, a rat that collects things. That's right, a pack rat. All right, and yesterday we had learned that he had gotten an egg, and then he also collected a fan. Oh, it's so hot. A fan, and he put it in a pan, and then he also got a map. We talked about a map, how a map gives us directions, and he had it with a cap. So he had got an egg. Maybe we can count how many things he's collected. An egg, he got a fan and a pan, a map, and a cap. So 5 things that little rat has collected in just 2 pages. All right, so let's turn the page and let's see what Matt does today, or what he collects and finds. Who even knows? He's a pack rat, so he's out looking for anything that he thinks that he might need or want. All right, so we're going to start with our word I, even though it's just 1 letter, I. And then there's that G-O-T again, got. I got now, we've had this word before, R-O-C-K, R-A, and then C-K says K, rock. I got a rock and a, same word, we're just changing the first letter, sock, sock. I got a rock and a sock. Now, I don't know what he wants with those 2 things, but that's okay. All right, let's see what else he got. These words are going to rhyme too. I starts exactly the same. I got a. Now, you know this word from our other story. Ugh. Mug and a. Same sounds. Just change the first letter, r-ug. I got a mug and a rug. So let's count. See what he's gotten on just this page. A rock and a sock, a mug and a rug. All right, so he had 5 things from the other page and then 4 on this page. Can you do some adding? Can you add how many that is? I'm going to get my chalk and I'm going to put it up here. Let me see where I could do my thing. Let's do it right here. He had 5 plus, we got 4 more things today. So how much is that all together? So I have a little bit more space over here. 5 plus 4. How many is that all together? That's what equals means. So he had 5, and then he added 4 more. 5 plus 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you said 9, you got it right. 5 plus 4 is 9. Excellent. Very good. So he's got 9 things so far. All right, today we're going to find out what he has done, what he's going to do. All right, let's look at this page. H-I-D. There's one vowel, so it's going to say it's short sound. I says what? I. I. H. H. Hid. Hid. I hid. What do you do when you hid? If you said, oh, I hid it. What did you do with that thing? That's right. You put it someplace where nobody would find it. Kind of like when you play hide and seek. You go and you hide. All right? That's what he did. He hid the fan, F-A-N. Where did he hide it? He says, I hid the fan in the, T-H-E, there's that sight word, pan. So he's hiding things now. I hid the fan in the pan. All right. He's going to hide something else. I think he's going to shove it up underneath that cap. Let's see what he tries to hide. He says, I hid, H-I-D, it's the same word that you had up here. I hid the map, M-A-P, in the cap. I hid the map in the cap. Looks like he kind of, stuck it up underneath there. All right. That's what you do sometimes when you're a pack rat. You just kind of hide things, tuck things here and there. The big thing is, do you remember where you put it when you need it? I hate to say it, but Miss McGuire does that sometimes. I get things and I hide them or I stick them somewhere, and then whenever I'm trying to find out where did I put, I can't remember where I put some of my things. So I hope that you've got a good memory if you're hiding things away. All right, that's all we're going to do. We're going to do 2 pages tomorrow and 2 on Friday, and we will have had this book read. Excellent. All right. Yesterday we started talking about a country, and its nickname is the Boot, because if you look at a map of that country, it kind of reminds you of a boot. Do you remember what that was? That's right. It's the country of Italy, and we talked about how Italy is even in the Bible. It talks about the people that lived in the capital city of Italy is Rome. And so the people that lived there are Romans. And back in the Bible times, remember the Romans, they controlled everything. And the Hebrews, they didn't treat those people, God's people, very kindly. And in the Bible, there's also a book called the Book of Romans. Paul, who was a missionary, he wrote a letter to the people that lived in Rome, and so it was called Romans. So this city, this country has been around forever, and we've known a lot about it. We've learned a lot about it. All right, so we are going to travel to the country of Italy. And here's the map. Remember I said here's the boot and the heel and the toe, and it looks like he's getting ready to kick a football, kick a soccer ball. All right, well, I want to show you some pictures from Italy. Like I said, I've never been there, but maybe you or your parents have been able to visit, go there. I hear that it's beautiful. This is one of the places. This is called the Colosseum. The Colosseum. And they would have races back then. The horses, they didn't have like car races, but they would have the chariots. Remember we talked about the chariots? Pharaoh had a chariot. We talked about how he got in his chariot and chased after the Hebrews whenever he let the people go. Well, these would be chariots pulled by horses, and they would have races in the Colosseum, and people would go and watch. And that's still standing. It's still there that you can go and see it. The Colosseum. And then this is a picture of a very famous fountain. Remember, I mentioned yesterday that there were a lot of beautiful pieces of art in Italy, paintings, and these are sculptures. They would take marble, and the artists would use a little hammer and tap, and they would make beautiful statues, and we call those sculptures. And so this is a very famous fountain there in Rome. People always go there and visit to see this fountain. All right, I'm going to turn this over. All right, now this is a very special place in Italy. It's called Venice, and it has, the streets are water. They are canals that run in between. And so you might have to take a gondola, that's the kind of boat this is, a gondola to take you from one side of the city to the other along the canals. And those you would, instead of like paying to, it's kind of like a bus. Instead of paying a bus driver or getting on the bus and putting your money in, you would pay the man to take you in his gondola from one part of the city to the next. So that's called a gondola. Now, this is a very famous building. And if you look carefully, it's not straight up and down. If you look carefully, it is kind of leaning over. The ground underneath it is beginning to wear away. And every year, that building tilts just a little bit each year, but you can tell that it's not straight up and down. It's called the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Not pizza, Pisa. That's the name of the city where it is, and you can go and see it. Now, I don't think that you can go up there and go out in it. You just can look at it because it's leaning so much. It's not safe. But a lot of people go there every year to visit it and to see that leaning tower. Can you stand up and lean over? The Leaning Tower of Pisa. All these are different places in Italy that you can go. There's up here, this part of Italy, in northern Italy, it's very beautiful. That's where the mountains are. The Italian Alps. So there's mountains to see, and then of course down here there's the ocean. People like to go down to that part of Italy and see the beautiful ocean and swim in the ocean there. And then all these different places people love to go and visit and see because they've been there for such a long time. It's places that you've read about in, or I would read about in stories or in history, different things that have happened there. So a lot of people like to go there and visit. Not only are there great places to see, but another thing that Italy is known for is their wonderful, wonderful food. And we're going to talk about some of that food tomorrow. So I don't know if you've ever been to a place called the Olive Garden. There's a lot of different Italian, remember that's what we call the people that live in Italy, Italian. There are a lot of Italian restaurants, Provinos. There's several here in the Woodstock and Canton area that you can go to. Lots of good Italian food. And in fact, I think I may cook a little bit of Italian tonight for dinner since we've been talking about this. But we'll talk about some Italian food. And you know, if we were at school, I hate that I say that a lot, we would be having some Italian food. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. So boys and girls, I hope you have a great day. I hope that you are able to spend some time outside. It's a beautiful morning. It's going to be a pretty afternoon. Have a great day. Always remember that Jesus loves you, and so does Miss McGuire. And I can't wait for us to get together soon. Bye-bye.